Project your voice out so everybody else can hear us. So let's get right into it. Stand up if you had a personal guest today. Let's give it up for them. Woo! 2 or more remain standing. 2 or more guests. All right. Woo! Sally, how many did you have? Am I Rani? 2? Okay, I think Sally's the newest. Bring up Sally! Woo! Okay, Sally, tell everybody what you did to get your guests here today.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Sally. So I had a KTP with David on Monday with my parents, and it went well. They were great. They just listened to everything. They listened to everything and went over the presentation. But then at the end, my dad was like, "This stuff is really cool. Can I learn more about it?" And so I was like, "Yeah, you're coming on Wednesday." And then my mom was like, "Okay, I'm coming too." So that's how I got him.
Great job, Sally. Super proud of you. Hey, leverage your leadership. That's what we're here for, right? You guys provide the credibility. We provide the expertise. Think about how amazing our business is, where you don't have to be an expert at explaining. You can literally leverage and put the best people in front of the people you love and care about the most. And we're here to help you guys collect the results. So great job, Sally. Keep it up. Okay. Who, if from last Wednesday to this Wednesday, you went out into the field, please stand up. All right, let's give it up for them. Remain standing if you implemented a plan and collected a check. All right, give it up for them. Thank you, my beautiful. All right, so, Bay?
First, with the laundry.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fun?
40 term, 22 term, 75 IUL split with O, 50 IUL split with O.
Jesus?
272 IUL with David, and then 43 Everest with Mark.
All right. Alma and Len?
320 IUL.
Great job.
So the 43 revision.
Okay.
Hi, that's right.
I got 55 Everest and 100 IUL. You got a mile split and $150,000 rollover.
Hey.
Francis?
75 juvenile IUL at 30 term, and then a 470 IUL.
My favorito.
150 and a 500.
Babe?
We have the two sizes split with.
Alright. Who had the most pieces of
Fine.
Pon the replay. Bring
I
up
like to
Pon.
turn. I like to make money get turn. I like to make money get turn. Got the white girl talking like the.
Oh, thank you. Actually, the last two piece of business last night was by surprise. I delivered policy last night. Oak didn't even know about it. And then when I was delivering, just sitting there talking, it was late at night already. It's at 9:30 p.m. And I said, and we're just talking, and I said, you know what? He wanted to have another term. I said, what? Instead of putting more money into your IUL, how about you think about your two kids? They're very young right now, because that's exactly what I'm doing with my kid. Oh, you can do that? Yes, you can do that. So I text Oak the information. Oh, right after 2 more policy, we're good to go.
I like to make money.
Great job, Pon. That's amazing. I love it because, hey, Pon got started last time around the Elite Academy. And so he really took Elite Academy seriously, and it promoted him out to a senior associate promotion. He went out and helped, I think, how many in that period? You probably at least saw like help 30 families, if I, just off the top of my head. He's not in my base shop, but I know because he was just week after week helping out tons of families. And then now he's even closing business by himself, right? With a little bit of leverage from his upline, but great job, Pon. And I know Pon, he's one of those people that has a lot of strength of character. He's always, about doing the right thing, really servicing clients. So it warms my heart to see you get after it. So great job again. Okay, so stand up if from last Wednesday to this Wednesday you passed your test. All right! Woo! Whoosh. And forgive me, but tell your name, please. Gina? Gina, what did you pass? Yes. No. We just want to let everybody know what test you passed. Beautiful. Now, now she's ready to help some families and get paid. Woo! So yes, everybody stand up if you are not licensed yet. Okay, so we're going to go around the room. You want to give me a test date and then say it with confidence because I know each and every one of you will pass whatever date you give me. Am I Rani? Okay. Upline holder accountable. Carolyn and Eric, I think are your uplines, right? Just kidding. Jessica Castillo, holder accountable. Your name, I'm sorry, one more time? You. Tyler. When are you going to pass your exam? Monday? All right. Woo! Sally? November 1st. I like it. Okay. Sasha? October 25th. Okay, excellent. And thank you, Nicole. I'm glad you. 25th. Beautiful. I love it. Hey, so this is great because you're going to finish your last quarter strong with a new license under your belt and an opportunity to go help out tons of families. So I'm looking forward to seeing lots of new licenses on the board. And let's go ahead and give a big round of applause to my beautiful Stephanie Duran. She did phenomenal breaking the floor. Woo! Didn't she do a phenomenal job? I had my jaw drop. Right? So I'm super proud of you, Steph. You did excellent up there. And I'm so proud of her because she's just someone that constantly is working on her craft. She practices on her own. She practices with us. She's not afraid to get out of her comfort zone. So I'm so proud of you for that. You did great. I hope many more of you guys use that as an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone. You have to visualize. If you see yourself running your own branch, running your own office, really, being a business owner, you have to learn how to do all of the duties around the office, just like the Fast Start packet says. So that means greeting the guest. That means signing in people. That means giving a tour. That means doing recognition like this. Even though I'm always up here with the mic, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, even for me. So I'm proud of everybody that steps out of their comfort zones, especially as we go off into this new expansion. I'm so excited. There's going to be a beautiful Irvine location, a beautiful Buena Park, Orange, Walnut. I mean, the expansion is happening, so this is an opportunity for everybody here to keep stepping out of your comfort zones and volunteering for these positions. So great job, Steph, one more time. Whoosh. Now, do we have any recognition? We do. Awesome. All right, give it up for
Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me act a fool. Up in here.
So, when you bring people into the business, the goal is to get them promoted, get them licensed, get them profitable, right? So they can make a difference for themselves and their families, right? So I have this individual on my team. He's been with me for a few months now. Some of you guys might know who he is, right? He's a very sharp young man, military man, a man of God, right? He just has, how they were talking about strength of character. He's one of those guys, right? He pushes me to get better every day. He pushes, the team. He's always on the chat. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, getting activity going, right? And it's really exciting to see somebody on your team, who's really, really dedicated as you are, right? As your leaders are, right? You go through so many people. I've been in the business for about 4.5 years now, and you see people come and go, and he's only been with me less than, I'd say, about 5 months or so, but I can tell he's an ELB soldier, right? He's got it in him. You can just tell right away just by meeting him, and if you have a conversation with him one-on-one. So I'm really excited. He finally hit his associate promotion. I know his MD promotion is not far from it, right? So please give it up for Jesus Arias.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Abigail. Thank you, David, for your patience. I'm really happy about the promotion, but it's just something we should be doing on a regular basis, right? Every single month. So thank you, guys.
Hey, did you guys all catch that? What did he say? Yes. 3:30 is something that we should do every single month, and he just did not care if he missed it by one day. He said, "I'll get back on the horse and I'll do it all over again." That's why I know he's gonna hit MD very, very soon. We had more recognition on this side. Give it up for the beautiful Claudia.
We the best music. Another one. DJ Khaled.
You stick out of the crowd, baby, it's a no-brainer.
Okay, so thank you. This is the second time up here, so it's a little still strange, but I just wanted to recognize my Gina Pecky, who I've had the pleasure of working with. She's actually one of my business partners at my current at Citibank. So she's a closer. She's an amazing woman. I learned from her also on the field. I couldn't have asked for a better person to join our team, and I'd just like to recognize Gina Pecky. She passed her test Tuesday, so congratulations.
Grips on your ways, front way, back way. You know that I don't play. Streets not safe, but I never run away, even when I'm away. OT, OT, there's never much love when we go OT. I pray to make it back in one piece. I pray, I pray. That's why I need a one dance. Got a Hennessy in my hand. One more time before I go. Higher powers taking a hold on me. I need a one dance. Got a Hennessy in my hand. One more time before I go. Higher powers.
What's that mean?
You have the power. When you're up here, you can tell
I like that.
by the whoosh. This is your powerful whoosh.
Oh, is that my whoosh? Oh, that's cool. Hi, everyone. Oh, am I on? Yeah.
It's on. You're on.
I'm just going to say hello. Thank you. This is a new adventure, truly. And Claudia's amazing. And we had conversations about just expanding our horizons not that long ago, and here we are. So I'm looking forward to what we can do and accomplish. I'm just going to make a comment that this group seems to be pretty motivating. The energy's great, and I'm really enjoying that. It's really refreshing. So thank you, and I look forward to the future. Thanks.
Grips on your ways from.
Congratulations, Gina. Now you are licensed and you can help people and make money. So that's exciting. Great job to you. And I do have one. Anybody else have recognition? No? Okay, I'll go next. I have one piece of recognition. So I do want to recognize somebody that I think is definitely off to a fast start. And timing in this business really is everything. I actually, started to briefly talk about the business with this person about maybe 3-4 years ago, but the timing wasn't right. And we actually had brunch a couple weeks ago. And just like Gina said, her and Claudia were talking about different ventures, and this person is so goal-oriented. So during brunch, her alarm went off, and she's like, "Oh, that's my timer for my $2,800 deposit." So she has her $1 million goal marked down to the day. Every week, her calendar alerts her that she needs to make $20,000 in order for her to hit $1 million over the next 12 months. That's how I knew this girl. Not only is she an amazing mother, when you guys meet her baby, Phoenix is super sharp and so amazing, but she's very motivated and very hardworking, very diligent. She's a goal-getter. So I'm super proud to have a boss mama on my team. Please give it up for Sally Yunker for her Fast Start Award.
I'm a couple hundred miles from Japan, and I was thinking I could fly to your hotel tonight, 'cause I can't get you off my mind.
Wow. This is awesome. You guys don't know, but I coach soccer, so to get an award like this right now it just means a lot, You don't really get awards as a coach, so I just appreciate this, and I do have my $1 million paycheck down to the T. I write checks to myself with my $1 million. So it's just all about visualization. And about 2 weeks ago, we did have brunch. It was a Boss Babe brunch. So I'm actually going to probably have another one soon, and it'll be Boss Babes and their babes. So if you're a boy. So, I appreciate this, and I look forward to meeting everybody going forward. And I appreciate all the energy. Like you said, it's literally, I have chills on my face right now. So thank you so much.
I can't seem to get you off my mind. Let's get lost tonight. Let's get
Push. See, when you're up here, you can tell everyone to keep making noise for you. Yeah, that's exciting. Okay, so now we are going to break into classes. So stand up if this is your first meeting back and you've not been to orientation yet. No? Okay. No. Scripts if you have not been to Scripts yet. So, okay, how about this? Stand up if you're not licensed. That's better. That's a better place to start. Okay, so my ladies over here, have you three been to orientation already? You had orientation with me, Sally. Scripts, have you been to Scripts? No? Perfect. So, and then have you been to Scripts yet? You have? Okay, great. So my three beautifuls on this side are going to follow Sophia into Scripts. Thank you. And then you have not been to compensation yet, right? And have you been to compensation? My good, smart, intellectual-looking friend. You're good? He's in here? And then, yeah, okay, great. So if you haven't been to Scripts, that'd be a great class to go to. Or, hey, maybe you've been to Scripts. But you haven't had a guest in like 60 days. Then maybe it's time that you practice your scripts a little bit. So just because you're licensed, I mean, the classes, really take advantage of them, especially, today you're lucky, Sophia's teaching scripts, and she is excellent at the words of the business. She's literally taught me everything that I know. A lot of, I was listening to Joy tell her story up here about how she challenged her guest about opportunities, how they're nearly passed. I was like, ooh, that's my uplines line. So please, if you haven't had a guest in like 60 days, you probably should go to Scripps and learn from her unless you're in here with GT. So yes, Scripps and compensation. Yeah, good. Okay, follow Sophia. Woo! And then, are you doing comp Oak? Okay, so compensation, you will follow Oak. Give it up for Oak. And now, strap on your seatbelts. Here we go with, with those. Oh, wait, fight for the front. Yes, yes, fight for the front. Oh, no, wait, just kidding. Thank you, Aaron, for reminding me. If you had a personal guest, you get dibs on the front row. So before you come stealing the front row seats, who had a personal guest or helped the family out this week? Those are the people that get first dibs in seating. Smart. All right, everybody else, please fill in the seats, fight for the front. This is going to be a phenomenal training. And let me just tell you guys, while you're getting settled in, how blessed and how grateful I feel that I get to bring this individual up. So yesterday, I had a guest at the Irvine location, and after my guest left, and after on my drive home, I called Eric, and I said, Eric, thank you a million times. Thank you so much for everything you've done, for the dedication that you've poured into this hierarchy over the last 7 years, for all of your tough coaching, all of your tough love, and all the high standards that you have for us. Because those high standards have bred what we have here today. And let me tell you guys that when you start to go to different offices and you start to see, different operations, you really truly value what you have here. And there's nobody better out there in the company that can lead a team, that can lead a WFG business like this individual. So I'm just beyond proud. And, as a hierarchy, as personal income, they just went over $500,000, but we have our eyes focused on not only getting him to 750, but crossing his 7 figures. And I know there's so many people that are hungry here to just rally behind him. So please put your hands together for none other than my big brother, our CEO, Mr. Eric Jemielita.
Whoosh, boom. All right, how's everybody doing? Good? I'm fired up, man. This is gonna be, it is a thriller, isn't it? It's quite the thriller, I think. And this is a great time right now to not only be in WFG, but to be in our hierarchy. Let's put it that way. It is a great time to be in Genesis Financial, and I want all you guys to realize just exactly how, I guess, blessed you should feel, okay? And when I say blessed, it's like you take a look at the series of uplines that we have, from all the way from Guillermo Haro to Rich Thaly to Ed Milet, so on and so forth. And this is a hierarchy that wins. And I want to talk to you about like winning tonight. And I think that far too many of us we spend a lot of time talking about we talk enough, either consciously or subconsciously, about losing every single day, right? When you're focused on negative things or adverse things or things that really don't play into your success, you're technically talking about losing indirectly, okay? So I want you guys to understand that, look, what you talk about is exactly who you become, okay? What you talk about is who you become. And because that directly links to the actions that you take. And today we're going to have a very good conversation about multiple things, but basically recruiting. And I want to talk to you about how to recruit better people on your team and specifics on how tangible things that you can use to recruit people on your team and into your business to grow it. Because quite frankly, it's very difficult, to go through day-to-days without knowing exactly what to focus on. And I think that all of you guys in here should have a good barometer or should have a good idea of what you should be focused on right now. But for example, cash flow quadrant, one-on-one, so on and so forth. But I think that number one, you talk about the number of appointments that you do is a very critical item. You see, there's no person that can build a business that is part-time or full-time successful if you're not willing to commit the time. Okay, let's just kind of clear that up right from the get-go. And when we talk about time, we're talking about time equals how much work you're putting in, but then does the work that you're putting in directly lead to results, right? So it's a results-driven business. I think everybody in here knows that, or should know that at least. This is not something where you show up and you keep showing up and you hope and pray and you cross your fingers that somebody great's going to land in your back pocket. That's not the way things work. You have to put in that time and grind every single day. Like, we're constantly looking for new blood in our business, because you give yourself an extended chance of finding the right individual. If you play small numbers, you're guaranteed to lose. If you play large numbers, then you give yourself a very high probability of winning. And if you run high numbers for long enough, you 100% will win. It's inevitable, right? It's not possible for you to keep losing. Some of you guys are going to find that person, 5 people into your conversations, right? That's the really, really, really top, 1% of a 1% find those individuals, 5 or 10 people into it. But the reality is that you're going to have to go through thousands. And I think that everybody here has to make peace with that, is that you're going to have to go through thousands. And the quicker you go through the thousands, the quicker it is. You learn how to desensitize the word no. You learn how to take rejection a little bit differently. And I think that's one of the biggest steps on recruiting the right type of person. I never take anything personally. And that's something that you all have to learn, is how to not take things personally. I had a meeting last night at 11 p.m. with some of you guys that are actually sitting in this room right now, and it was a very late meeting at my house. We had a great conversation. We talked about the future. We talked about what Genesis Financial was doing and exactly where we were going. And I'm excited to bring that into the fray and share that with a lot of you as things unfold. But it's going to take a little bit of time, obviously, for that to happen. So first things first is you always have to think about recruiting, right? I think that that's something that a lot of people don't do, is that you don't focus on recruiting because you don't think about it enough. I think a lot of us are focused on setting up appointments, which is great. Some of you guys need to be focused, generally speaking, on something in the business that directly leads to making money. Okay? Hopefully you caught that, because the truth is that if you're not focused on the things that directly lead to making money, you're not going to have appointments. You're not going to recruit anybody in your business, right? We get in our business what we focus on. So if we focus on the recruiting and we're always thinking about it, you got to start with the end in mind. So you got to think, our business is so powerful that if you recruit enough, eventually you're going to find the right people. And the crazy part about it is that somebody can make $50,000 to $60,000 a year part-time in our business, in our deal. That is a pretty significant thing when you can pull somebody in and say, you know what, Pon, you don't have to go full-time. You can start part-time, and you can make $50,000 to $60,000 a year, and even $100,000 a year, as recently proven by Nana and Bradley, and some of the other people that are here too, part-time in this business. Now, it doesn't mean that you got to make millions of dollars part-time, because that's not going to happen, right? But what can happen is you can build a business and you can build a company that can pay you $60,000 to $100,000 a year part-time, which is unheard of, in my opinion, right? Because you got to work 40 to 60 hours a week just to get there full-time. So when we talk about that for a second, so there are people right now that make $100,000 per year, okay? Per year, annually, full-time. So this is 40 hours a week. Okay, 40 hours a week. All right? So 40 hours a week, $100,000 a year, 40 hours a week. Got it? Yes. Sometimes more, isn't it true? Yeah. 40 plus hours a week. I think it is most of the time. You're right about that, right? Because if a job is paying you 6 figures, they own you. Just remember that. If a job is paying you 6 figures, they own you, especially if it's on salary. Especially if it's salary, okay? So let's talk about $100,000. Now, what happens if, let's say, somebody were to make $70,000 a year working 15 to 20 hours a week in a business. Well, this is 100,000 on a W-2, and this is 70,000 on a 1099. Okay? So everybody understand the difference between W-2 and 1099? Okay. Some of you guys look at me confused. Okay, W-2 means you're employed and you have no opportunity for write-offs. You work for somebody else. 1099 means that you can write stuff off if it makes sense. Okay, you can write stuff off if it makes sense. Don't write off PlayStations and dumb shit like that, right? Okay, but you can write stuff off that pertains to your business. Okay, you can write stuff off. For example, car notes, car leases, cell phone bills, gas, right? Food. There's office rent. There's a lot of things that you can write off. Okay, you name it, plugins, access pass, all that stuff, right? You can write all that stuff off as a business expense if you're 1099. That's a big plus. So when you make $100,000 a year on a 1099, that's much different than making $100,000 a year on a W-2. You guys, everybody understand that, right? Yes. Remember, they prize you to hunt for your meals. They prize you to hunt for your meals, not to beg for scraps at a job. If you're the type of person that needs a steady paycheck, okay, and you need to beg for scraps at a job, well, then your life will be equally as, I guess, low grade as your opportunity. Okay? And I'm talking strictly financial here. We're not talking about, oh, but I love my job. We're not talking about that. Those guys that love your job, hey, good for you. I'm talking about from the fiscal perspective and from the perspective of time and money. You guys understand? Time and money. From a time and money perspective, a job is the lowest grade of opportunity. Everybody agree? Yes. It's the lowest grade of opportunity. No, just kidding. Self-employed is the lowest grade of opportunity. Okay? Self-employed is the lowest grade. That means that if you're working more than 8 hours a day to make 6 figures, more than 8 hours a day, and you can't scale your business, that's worse than a job, in my opinion. You might have some flexibility and some freedom, but you got to work yourself like a dog to maintain your income. And the second you stop working, your income's gone. That's why you got to build. All of you guys in here need to buy into building a big team. All of you guys in here need to finally make a decision that you're going to build a big-ass squad and you're going to go all in on your dream. All in. Because this is the only business that you can scale. It's the only thing that you can scale with the least amount of capital, and the greatest amount of upside. Just think about that. Name me another business that you can scale to this size, multiple offices by just investing $100, paying $50 for a plug-in, maybe an office. Let's say you spend a total of, if you had an office, let's say you spend a total of, I don't know, 15 grand a year on business expenses. Total. 15 grand a year on business expenses, added, if you had $1,000 a month for an office, you had access pass, you had a couple other things, minus the daily basic needs that you have. 15 to 20 grand a year on a business that can pay you multi-million dollars passively. Show me where you can do that. You can't. You guys, everybody get that, right? Hello? Yes. Everybody gets that. Yes. So you got to realize that this is your shot. That's why we always say, this is your shot at the big time. If you screw it up, that's on you. If you screw this up, that is on you. Remember that. Okay? So when we talk about this, I want you to put things into perspective now. What if you sold it to where Pan Yi, let's just say, is making $100,000 a year at his job, hypothetically, right? If he's making 100 grand a year at his job, and let's say I said, Pan, you know what? Here's my goal. My goal is to get you to make $60,000 to $70,000 a year part-time with me. Are you on board with that? Okay. That means all $60,000 to $70,000 minus taxes will go to your savings because you're currently living with your current lifestyle with $100,000 a year. You guys got it so far? Yes. So $100,000 a year, he's living on. His mortgage is being paid with 100 grand. His car payment is being paid. His insurance is being paid. Everything is being paid for by that 100,000. Therefore, the $60,000 to $70,000 a year part-time that he's making with us should all go to savings minus taxes. True or false? True. Okay. So now, Pon, let me ask you a question. I want you to picture that. You're making $100,000 a year. Now you're making $160,000, right? Total. $60,000 is the 1099 income. Okay? Here's the crazy part. Pon, let me ask you a question. If you had an additional $45,000 to $50,000 saved after taxes, okay? 45 grand saved additional to what you have now, and you were making a steady $6,000 to $7,000 a month check from us. And you make $100,000 a year full-time at 40 hours a week, and you're making 70 grand a year part-time 15 to 20 hours a week. Would you jump ship and go full-time? How many of you guys would say no? I think everybody would say yes. Because in my opinion, if I could make 70 grand part-time, imagine what I could do full-time at this thing. If you completely unleashed me, and instead of 15 to 20 hours a week, I can do 50 to 60 hours a week if I wanted to, because I enjoy what I do and the opportunity was limitless. Consider it. So this is the kind of picture that you have to paint for your said recruit. Because the truth is, that could be your truth and that could be your reality the second you make a decision. But you got to make the choice. You know, I had somebody ask me today, one of my directs that I just recruited actually, he asked me today in Florida, he goes, Eric, how long will it take me to make $30,000 to $40,000 a month in this business? I said, that depends on you. That really depends on you. If you go all in and everything that you do is about this business, it'll be a lot sooner than later. Let's put it that way. But if you don't go all in and you're still trying to figure out if this works for you or not, it's going to be a very uphill battle. You see, in this business, if you give this business 99%, it gives you 0. The only way to earn anything is to give 100%. And by the way, everybody in here, I want you to consider going full-time. I want you to consider going full-time, and here's why. In order to create a legacy and become a legend in your family, not just this business, because your goal might not be to be the #1 financial guy or gal in the business, but your goal would be to build a legacy and eventually, gain financial freedom for your family. That's what I mean. In order to become a legend and build a legacy, you have to go all in. You have to be full-time. Michael Jordan did not play basketball part-time. Michael Jordan's the greatest, in my opinion. And he didn't play basketball. You can use this analogy with anybody. Tom Brady doesn't play football part-time. You guys got it? Yes. You can't be great at anything if you do it part-time, guys. It's a great part-time opportunity. Don't get me wrong. 50 to 60, 70 grand a year part-time is really good. But I don't think that's what you signed up for. Right? Because you can make 30 grand a year driving Uber. True? True. So I don't think that's what you signed up for. I think you came here to make a killing. But the problem is that you're trying to recruit people that are at this caliber right now when your commitment level and your time commitment is at this caliber right now. Your standards are completely different. You want this type of recruit, but your standard is at this type of recruit. You guys understand? Yes. So as long as this thing it continues and stays a part-time, some of the time, spare time, when I feel like it endeavor, it will always be a struggle. It'll always be a struggle. Always be a struggle. By the way, I say always, there's no exception to this rule. It's universal for everybody. It's universal for everybody, guys. Okay? And by the way, this also has a lot to do with what? Making $100,000 a year in this business and getting to 250. For some of you guys, that's your goal. I want to get to 250. Well, 250 requires, if you want to build your way into 250, that requires a whole new level of commitment. If you want to get from 0 to 100 here, That requires a whole new level of commitment. 0 to 50 requires a whole new level of commitment. 50 to 100 requires a whole new level of commitment. Guys, every single level, your commitment rises up. What does this mean? That means your expenses go up. Your expenses go up. This Irvine office that we're getting ain't cheap, guys. That is not cheap. It's more expensive, but it's an investment, not a cost. It's an investment, not a cost. We want the good market. We want credibility. And we want to feel like $1 million when we walk into that office. How many guys want to feel that way? You got to go all in. Some of you guys, the drive's really far. Time to move. Time to move your ass over there. Not to Irvine, wherever you're going. Time to move. Drive's really far. You control where you live. I don't know if I want to uproot my life. Well, it's an excuse, isn't it? Let me ask you a question. If I had $1 million check waiting for you, and all you had to do was relocate and move to, I don't know, Kentucky, Bucky, would you go? Who wouldn't go? Who would not go? $1 million check. You get there, $1 million richer. Move to Kentucky. Right now, $1 million. By the way, you don't have to stay there. You just got to move there. No, seriously, take the $1 million and do whatever. But you got to stay there for 3 years. Would you do it? Yes. Hell yeah, dude. I would do it. If I was broke, I would do it in a heartbeat. If I was working a regular job, I'd do it in a heartbeat. You give a guy that knows what he's doing $1 million, he's going to turn that into like $5 million. Give an idiot $1 million, and he'll be back home, living at home with his parents in 6 months. True? True. It's all mindset, guys. It's all mindset. Just remember this. It's all mindset. Okay? Some of you guys get $1 million. First thing you go is go buy yourself something nice. Well, that's stupid. Stupid is as stupid does, right? Famous line from a famous movie. Yep. Forrest Gump. Right? The dumbest smart guy I ever knew. Said some really good lines, man. I would look at it, I was like, what? Yeah, that makes sense. Right? I'd rewind, listen again. I guess so. Okay? So just know that, look, the bottom line is you got to sacrifice. And your habits got to get better. And you got to be more disciplined. And you got to be more mentally tough. And you got to do what's right for the business. Do you know, let me ask you a question, guys. Do you know that the amount of office rent that we're going to talk about, let's say in Irvine, okay? The office prices, the individual office prices are more than double what they are here in this office. Let me FYI that for you, okay? And by the way, did you know that I spoke to certain people that potentially want an office there? We have a few available. I spoke to a couple people. All of them were in. No hesitation. All of them, yeah, that's it. We're in. There's no pulling teeth. Do you know why? Because I spoke to a bunch of entrepreneurs last night. I didn't speak to people that wanted to be entrepreneurs. Does that make sense, guys? Yes. No, that's exciting to me, and that should be exciting to you. That should be exciting to you. Okay? There's no hesitation. You know why? You can cut out things. You can slash things for the money. True? You can lower cost of living for the money. Because most people, idiots or employee-minded people, okay? They're not the same. But just understand that idiots and employee-minded people think of an investment a different way. For example, let me ask you guys a question. You don't have to answer it out loud. If you had X amount of dollars, the same amount of dollars, you had one payment, and your mortgage costs this much, and your office rent costs this much, what are you going to pay for? Paying your office. The entrepreneur, it's no question I'm paying my office. No question. Because without my opportunity, I won't have my house. I got to go back to a job. True? See, the dumb person goes, oh, I've been in this house for 8 years. We can't leave? Our whole life is here. And that's why you're broke. That's why you're broke, and that's why you stay at the income level that you stay at. Do you want, let me tell you guys something. The second I knew we were going to go to Orange County, it's the same day I made the decision to move to Orange County. You guys got that? Yes. Like, I've been at my residence in Cerritos for 5 years. I've been at my residence in Cerritos for 5 years, okay? And I do like the house a lot. There is some sentimental value. Don't get me wrong. It's always going to have a special place in my heart. What are you trying to say, bro? What are you trying to say, dude? Oh, okay. Guys, I was like, dude, is he trying to tell me that? Is he trying to imply that I have no heart? Everything okay? Oh, okay. Yeah, there's another way. It's all good. Caution, though. Caution. Okay. But guys, yeah. So I've been there 5 years. But guess what? You have to learn how to understand that you always, always, always do what's right for the business. Always. Universally, it is you do what's right for the business, not what's right for your pride, ego, and current lifestyle. You do what's right for the business. Like, I would live out of a garbage can if it meant that I could do my business and make money. I am a builder. I'm a closer. I know how to win as an entrepreneur at a very high level. I've been playing this game at a high level for many years, over a decade. At a high level. Do you understand that that's not easy to do? Do you know how many businesses shut down within a few months? Maybe a year or two at best, and they struggle for that year or two, and then they quit. They can't hang. I've been doing this over a decade, guys, going on 16 years in business. We're closing in on 2 decades. Before I turned 40, by the way. Okay? So when you play at a high level every day, constantly, you gain wisdom, you gain experience. I don't know everything, but I know enough. Okay? A lot more than most. And I'll tell you this, wisdom, if it's taught me anything, is you always do what's right for the business. Things, material things, homes, stuff can always be replaced. Opportunity can never be replaced. Okay? So when we talk about, thinking about recruiting, you got to understand, you got to sell it like this. You got to raise the level. This is the reason why I'm telling you, you got to raise the level. You got to raise this standard up here. Your standard's way too low to recruit the type of people that you want. You all want macho people. You want not just macho people. You want people that are highly enthusiastic. Okay? You want people that are highly enthusiastic. You want people that are, on the next level, like literally mindset is completely sold out to the opportunity and to the business. Okay? Completely sold out to the business. Remember, guys, trips, awards, jackets, blazers, all this stuff, guys, is just stuff. It's all just stuff. It's stuff for you to go qualify for, don't get me wrong. It's supposed to motivate you. But you got to understand, like, I am not motivated by, awards. I'm not motivated by trips. I'm motivated by winning. Very, very different standard. And because of that standard, and by the way, it doesn't mean that you don't enjoy the trip when you win it. It doesn't mean that at all. I think that a lot of us, we associate, we got to win the trip in order to be happy. That's not true. Or, you know, if it's not about the trip, it's not about the award, it's not about this or that. No, you enjoy it when you get it. But it can't be about that. It's got to be about something far bigger. Does that make sense, guys? Yes. And I hope you understand that. Is my mic a little different right now? Just turn it down lower a little bit. Just a little bit. Is that, there we go. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's good. Okay. So when push comes to shove, you have to up the ante on your mindset and your winning, okay? So the second thing, number 2, you got to become a person worth following. When you recruit the right people, you got to be the type of person worth following. Okay, so for example, if you recruited somebody, would you follow you at this point? Okay? Would you follow you at this point? And that's something that you have to consider. Would you follow you? Okay, and if the answer is no, well, then you got some things to work on. And that's okay. It's cool to be in that position where you got things to work on. Everybody's got things to work on, and they'll always have things to work on. But I think that as you get more experience, you start to not make the same old dumb mistakes that you used to make, right? You should never be on stage 1 of mistakes still 5 years into the deal, 3 years into the deal. You know, you're making rookie mistakes when you're 7 years into the deal, 8 years into the deal, 10 years into the deal. Like, you can make some rookie mistakes your first 6 months, your first three months, maybe even your first year or 2, you can make some rookie mistakes. Like, if you've never dealt with anything before, you might make that mistake, but eventually you learn from it and you grow and your wisdom expands. Okay? So becoming the person worth following means that you do have to make mistakes, and it means that you're not the perfect person, but you're trying. Okay? Here's how you become the person worth following. You're the type of person that sets up the most one-on-ones, you know, the most KTPs. You get together regularly with your base shop, your teammates. If you just see your base shop on BPM nights, it's going to be an uphill battle to build. You can't build anything by seeing your base shop people just on BPM nights. You got to see them outside of that. And by the way, for those of you guys right now that only see me on BPM nights, I would highly encourage you, this is going to boost your chances of building a big base shop by 30 to 40%. Okay? I would highly encourage you to not just see me on BPM nights. And it doesn't mean let's go grab a coffee and shoot the breeze. It means that you're constantly shadowing me, watching me fast start your new people. You're constantly around the aura and the fire, okay? You're constantly setting up KTPs. You're constantly at phone zone. And then now, if we need a mentoring session, we go out, we do a coffee, or we do a tea, or we do like a lunch or a late dinner. We can do that. We can do that. But you got to realize that in order for you to grow, you have got to be tethered, essentially, right? You got to be tied to your leadership. You got to have that. If you don't have that, it's going to be an uphill battle. Like, what type of relationship do I currently have with you? Is it only at BPMs? Is it only, do I see you in passing and say hi? If that's you right now, I encourage you to spend a lot more time. And by the way, when I say time, I'm talking valuable time. Like, we're going to Florida. Monica and I are going to Florida this weekend. And again, it's an opportunity for a lot of you guys to step up to the plate and show up on Saturday with guests and build your base shop. So that way, when I get back from Florida, I can immediately field train your new person. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? Yes. I can field train your new person. And we're already off to the races. But I'm going to tell you this. Friday, we're going to take a look at office spaces in Florida. And we're also going to have a great dinner. It's going to be a leisure dinner between me, the Sawyers, and a couple of other guys on the team. And that day actually happens to be Monica's birthday, too. Right? So it's going to be cool. So she goes, oh, you're going to go to Florida? That's my birthday, right? I told Alex, hey, book me a trip. We got to go to Florida. I got to go to Florida. And Alex goes, okay, you got it. I'm booking it right now. And Monica's like, whoa, hold on a second. That's my birthday. Alex, make that 2 tickets. Does that make sense? Yes. She can't tell I didn't get her anything. I'm taking her to Miami. So, right? So the cool part, guys, the cool part is this. Look, you're building the business, but then the Sawyers want my time. We're going to have a great time. Don't get me wrong. We're going to have a great time. We're going to watch some baseball games too. You know, hopefully that series continues to go. The Yankees in Houston is a great series, right? But you know what's crazy is that we're going to watch some baseball games, but you know what? We're also going to have a lot of appointments. So when we go out there, I expect to close $2,000 or $3,000 in premium in business. Look at offices for Florida. So I'm going to come back wealthier than I was when I entered, right? We're going to look at office space. So we're expanding the business, and we're going to have fun. It's okay to do all of them, guys. So it's okay to do all of them. But that's what I mean by, hey, look, when you want my attention and you want me to fly out to Miami, it would probably make sense that you have some activity. Yes or no? Yes. It would probably make sense that you have some macho quality KTPs ready to go. Yes or no? Yes. All right. It would make sense that we make some money while we're having fun. Yes or no? Yes. Same thing here. I don't see what the difference is here. See, some of you guys go, oh, I don't talk to Eric because I have nothing to report. Well, how long is that going to be your moniker? How long is that going to be your mantra? How long is that going to be where, you know what? That's who you are. Like there are some of you guys in here that start off really hot and then you slow down. What's going on? Okay, what's going on? And then guess what happens? Your percentages of winning shrink because you stop. It has nothing to do with the nose. It has nothing to do with the people, guys. There are 7 billion people on this planet. There are 20 million people plus in LA County. LA and Orange County. You guys understand that we have a lot of people around us that need what we do. You need to talk to all of them. You need to talk to all of them. So when you become the person worth following, remember, people follow people that are what? On fire. Not necessarily just on fire with results, on fire with communication. On fire with communication. You know, Anthony texts me every single day and he tells me a whole list of accountability that he's doing, right? And I appreciate that. I like that a lot. It's one of my favorite things to look forward to, Anthony. I hope you know that. Okay? And he's very serious about his business. Are there things we can tweak? Absolutely. But I'd rather have the guy that's locked in and laser focused than have somebody that is not locked in. Because you know why? That person has no chance. If you're not locked in, you have no chance. If you are locked in, guess what? Now you give yourself a chance. Now you give your family a chance to grow and get better. You guys got it? Yes. Number three. Sell it big up front. So when we talk about recruiting, I'm always selling it big right away, up front. We don't sell it small, guys. You guys got to realize we don't sell it small. I mean, I would rather have people think too big. It's so much, you know, some of you guys, by the way, I'm not looking for the person. Some of you guys are hanging out with far too many people that don't see it the way you see it. You're trying to recruit these people that are dead weight. Dead weight. Like you keep telling them, Francis, this thing's going to be amazing, man. Here's why. I could see you making $70,000 a year part-time here and eventually replacing your $100,000 income, man. We have the system. We have the dynamic. We have the leadership. We've got everything here. We got the office. We got everything. You want to roll? Let's make it happen. Do you know that way back when in 2012, I was literally recruiting, we were recruiting 100 people a month in the base shop. And my office size was from pawn to me to that door. I had a cubicle. In Pomona underneath Guillermo Haro. We were recruiting 100 people a month. Do you know what that equates to, guys? What if the numbers were 10-3-1? You guys know 10-3-1, right? Yes. That means how many people would we confirm? 1,000 people a month we would confirm to the BPM. 1,000 people in my base shop. Calls that were made, 1,000 people every 30 days. People would say, yes, Joy, you can count on me. I'll be there. 300 on average, would show up to a BPM. And those numbers are about right. That's 37.5 guests. 37 and a half guests. 37 and a half guests. So 37 plus a dwarf. Let's just round up to 38. 38. 38 guests per BPM on average. That's about right, huh? Yeah, some months more. Just think about that for a second. Let's call it 40 guests, guys, a BPM per meeting. You know, we have 8 tonight. Woot woot. We have 8 tonight. It was 40. Okay, in 2012. And by the way, that was out of an office this size. Okay? Do you know why I missed that? You know why I miss having that? Because people were hungrier. People were hungrier. We didn't have anything. Does that make sense? We didn't have anything. I want you to think about something, right? Isn't it true your favorite musicians, your favorite rock bands, your favorite bands, your rap stars or whatever, they produce their best music when they're hungry. At the very beginning, their first or second album usually is the best one. True? Right? How many people go, oh, yeah, that band, I love their old stuff. I don't like their new crap. Right? Because right now, all they're doing is selling music. When they make it, they sell music based off just packaging their name. They're not packaging the product. Versus when somebody's hungry and they're trying to make it, guess what? They're packaging the actual brand and the value. Okay? So you can imagine how fired up we were. When you're trying to make something happen, you're fired up. You're ready to rock and roll. You're like a Lennon Alma or a Sawyers or some of you guys in here that are actually really motivated. But I would encourage a lot of you guys that think you're really good to stop relying on your talent and how good you look. And start relying, you know, I judge a person based off their work ethic and their commitment to this business. I don't judge a person based off how they look. Nobody cares how you look. I don't know if you figured this one out yet. Nobody cares how you look. People care what you do. I've seen pretty people make it here. I've seen ugly people make it here. Isn't that true? Right? I've seen pretty people make it. I've seen ugly people make it. I've seen in-between people make it. Whatever. Okay? I've seen it all. But guess what? Doesn't matter how you look. Doesn't matter. All that matters is the heart of the champion. All that matters is what you put into your business. That's all that matters. The policies don't write themselves, guys. The recruits don't recruit themselves. You got to realize that, look, we had this level of sacrifice. So when we sold it big up front, do you realize that when you have 40 guests at BPM, you don't have time for BS. You know, when you have a small amount of guests, you give the person afterwards a whole new BPM. We sit down and we start to interview them, and we're like, man, we hope they sign up. Oh, please sign up. When you only have one guest, oh, please sign up. It's almost like you're begging them. You know, back when we had 40 guests, it wasn't sign up. We had, there were people that, you know, I was at Walnut doing the BPM yesterday and doing general training. You know what's crazy about that meeting? I literally talked about what we used to do, like kind of what I'm talking to you guys about right now. And you know that we had 2 people that were recruited in that environment back in 2012. In that environment, when we were interviewing people out here in the parking lot. Not in this parking lot, but in Pomona. We would interview people in the parking lot because we had no more space to interview in the office. That's how many guests we had. So after the BPM, we literally go and interview people in the parking lot next to a lamppost. Yeah, each person has a pole. Little light, right? It's like that dark outside right now. It's like that dark. And imagine that. It's like, you know, your non-quality guest or your not-so-quality guest, they don't get first priority. What ends up happening is, you know, like I would say, okay, Rainiel, nice to meet you. My name is Eric. Follow me out this way. Oh, are we going to, which office are we going to? Oh, we're not going to an office. Yeah, we're going to walk outside here. And by the way, she's never met me before. And she's going to go and interview with me in a random dark parking lot. It's so sketch. Right? And they'd still sign up. Right? Some of you guys in here experienced that firsthand. But do you know when we interviewed, there was no second BPM. It was people would wait 45 minutes to get interviewed because we just had so much volume. So let's say, for example, I was going to bring Armando on board. I would literally sit with Armando and say, are you in or out? That was awesome, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, that was great. What was your favorite part? Oh, it was this. We can make money. Great. Are you in or out? It's like, just hurry up, dude. I got other people. Does that make sense? Like, sign up, don't sign up, whatever. Oh, I got some questions. Okay, write them down, and nobody's going to answer them. See ya. Does that make sense? Oh, I got some comments. That's great. I don't have time for that. See ya. Okay? Go outside. We'll answer. I'll talk to you later about it. You guys got it? Yes. And sometimes when we had some more time, I would kind of screw around with them a little bit. Say, Armando, you know what? I know that you're Johnny's guest. But listen, man. I know you're interested in our opportunity. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I can bring you on board, man. And they start selling themselves. No, I'm a hard worker. I'm not a quitter. I'm a this. I'm a that. I'm awesome. I'm gonna be your next big thing, right? Armando, you know, I got to think about it. You know, let me converse with Johnny. Let me have a conversation with Johnny. You mind stepping outside for a little bit? We'll let you know in 5 minutes. So Armando would walk outside, close the door behind him, and Armando's biting his nails. Oh my God, I hope I get the position. Oh my goodness. Rainiel, they're considering me right now. Aaron, this is just, oh my God. Dude, I can't even talk to you right now. And then I'll be like, you know, once he closes the door behind him. So Johnny, how about those Dodgers, dude? How are they doing this year? How's your mom and dad doing? Oh, pretty good. That's awesome. Shoot the breeze a little bit, and I'll look at my watch. Yeah, it's about 3 minutes. You know, let's just call Armando back in here. Armando comes back. All right, man. After careful consideration, I've decided to bring you on board here on a probation period. Okay, you have a 30-day probationary period so that we can see what you're going to do. Okay, yeah, I'll do anything. Right? Guess what? We promoted MD after MD after senior associate after senior associate after associate after senior associate over and over and over again, churn and burn, 100 recruits in the base shop. Why? Because we took it away. We didn't give it away. We took it away. We didn't give it away. Okay? We were one of those businesses where, man, is this a Transamerica pin? Dude, this is a Transamerica pin. That's so cool. All right. So, I just found it on the floor. But guys, I want you to consider that for a second. Okay? What happens when you give it away? Well, guess what? Nothing happens because they don't see any value. When you take it away, that's when people see value. Nobody wants something handed to them. Psychologically, people want a little bit of pushback. They want to work for stuff. That's the reason why I know that work ethic and hard work is at the core of everybody. The problem is you hand it to everybody, and that's the reason why they don't. If I sold the value, it's like, Armando, this business is awesome. It's great. You're going to be awesome in this thing, and we're going to get you started right away, and we're going to, okay? Sometimes you got to say, hey, hold on a second. What do you bring to the table? That's the reason why we have that in our one-on-one interview. Our one-on-one interview consists of, you know, what do you bring to the table? Armando, that was awesome, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Great. What was your favorite part? You know, what did you take away from our presentation today? Oh, well, I took away the fact that you can make a lot of money. Great. What are some of your goals? What do you hope to accomplish the next year or two? I didn't say your next 10 years. I said the next year or two. Like, why are you here today? How can we help? What did you see in there that could apply to your life? Right? Just to give an example of a next question I would ask. Then he would tell me. Says, okay, well, it sounds like you might be a good fit for us, but before I even consider it, what do you feel are some of the characteristics or traits that you bring to the table? What would motivate me to work with you? Well, I'm not a quitter. I'm a this, I'm a that. And he starts selling himself to me at all levels. And guess what? When he sells himself to me, now I can make him eat those words if those are not true. Because the second he goes, oh, well, you know what? I got something going on. Something came up. Well, hold on a second. I thought you were a committed person. Or was that just a lie? Was that just a lie, Armando? You're really not a committed person. You could tell me, just straight up, tell me straight up, Eric, I lied to you, man. I'm not committed. I'm not a committed type of person. I don't know how to commit. Okay? And then, oh, no, right? Then the backpedal happens. Guys, just remember that, look, this is a game. It's a psychological game. Everything we do is a psychological game. Isn't it true? Yes. Not men in here, not women in here. I'm just kidding. But men, isn't it true? Do you play games? Some of you men, you play games, don't you? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, let's just be straight up. Everybody's been there. I've been there. You play games. It's all good. Shh, Len, just quiet, dude. It's all good, brother. Len's focused. He's focused at the meeting. Alma, leave him alone. He's focused on the meeting. Okay? He's taking notes. By the way, ladies, do you play games? The answer is yes. The answer is unanimously yes, you do play games. Or you used to. You play games. Is it true? Yes. You make men work for it, I hope. Yes or no? Yes. That's a game. You understand that, right? It's okay to admit it. That is a game. Ladies, do you give it away or take it away? I hope so. Right? So, right? Claudio, Ivan paid the price, right? Yeah? He earned it. He earned it. Guys understand? It's all a game. Business is the same way. It's a game. Closing your clients is a game. Whoever plays the game the best wins. It's not a negative thing. Stop thinking of, oh, you're swindling people or, you're messing with people and you're not being straightforward. No, being straightforward is part of the game. But to get your foot in the door is a game. Do you know the script? It's a game. You understand that, right? I need your help. You'll help me out, won't you? That's a game. Because if I told you, here, I'm here to sell you an IUL. Hi, Anthony San Miguel. Yeah, listen, I'm here to sell you an Index Universal Life policy, a life insurance policy with some cash value. Let me come over and meet with you for a little bit. I'm going to bring my trainer because he's more experienced at closing you than I am. True or false? It's a game. Sales is a game. All forms of sales is a game. Wednesday work better for you or Monday work better for you? That is a game. Understand? Because Lord knows I can't trust you to go, hey, so when's your next day off? Or when are you free? When are you free? I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. Let me check my schedule. That's a FU statement, right? That's a F off statement. It's just piss off, right? Guys, it's all a game. Whoever masters the game wins. You got to master the words. You got to master the takeaway. You got to master these things, guys. Realize that human beings want control of time and money. That is the first level. That's the first stage of understanding. And then understand that the next level of that is to figure out exactly what they want, specifically what they want, and then tie in the opportunity with what they want. And then have such a good understanding of the system and the opportunity that you can tie that in with exactly what they're looking for. That's how you recruit somebody. How do you retain somebody? By showing them results right away. I'm not saying you got to send them in the field with me, but I'll tell you this, whoever sends them in the field with me, I can probably show them a result right away. You know what it does for a recruit when they see a KTP being closed right in front of their face? It gives them hope, and it tells them that it works. Do you know what it's like to say, hey, Len, we just closed the deal. We just closed the deal right now, $500 a month. Let me show you what I made on this. And I go, Bam! In 45 minutes, I made that. Hurry up and get your license. Set up some more. True or false? True. That's how you win. That's how you win. That's the motivator. That is the motivator. But see, now you got to do that with more people. See, the question is, how many people on your team is being field trained every day? If the answer is just you, you're not building a team. You're not understanding the system fully. Do you know that every single day I have multiple people being field trained every single day? How do you think that's going to go over the span of, I don't know, 5 or 10 more years? This thing is going to be huge. Bigger than it is now. Number 4, know who you're looking for. You got to know who you're looking for in this business. You know, everybody goes, oh yeah, I'm looking for macho. No, you're looking for motivated people. You're not looking for macho. You're looking for macho clients. Okay? You're not looking for macho specifically in recruiting. You're looking for macho clients. We sell in the macho market. But as far as recruits go, you're looking for somebody who's motivated, preferably over 25 years old. Somebody who has a steady income. Would we prefer somebody who's a homeowner? Absolutely. Why? That's a level of responsibility. Would we prefer they have kids? Yes, because it's a level of responsibility. You have something to fight for. They're not going to screw around with this thing. Like I know Len and Alma are not going to, they're not here, you know, taking time away from their kids for nothing. You guys got it? Yes. Okay? Then when you get to Marvin and Audrey's level, you just recruit your kids. Like 18 years old, code number. Now we don't have to be apart. We'll see you at BPM, right? That's how it works. Hey, you know June De La Cruz, his son's almost an SMD. June De La Cruz, his son is almost an SMD. I remember when his son was still in high school. And now he's got a code number, he's almost an SMD and a ring earner. How cool is that? And June overrides him. Joy. Joy to the world. Your services are needed. Okay. So you got to know who you're looking for. Number 5. Add names to your list and grow it. Let me ask you a really good question. I know that sounds really fundamental and really, really, really easy, right? But let me ask you a question. How many guys are adding names to your list every single day and growing it? Every single day you're adding new people to the list. Good. All you guys that are raising your hands, good. Good job. Half of you guys did. But if you're not adding names to your list every single day, it's a tough business, guys. You know what doesn't count as phone calls? Calling the same old damn number every single day. If he didn't pick up yesterday, I don't think he's going to pick up today. Odds are he's not going to pick up. If he hadn't picked up the last week, and you call him every day for the last week, I don't think he's going to pick up on day 8. You guys understand? Yes. So I call those guys that don't pick up. I wait it out, and I call them 2 weeks later, or maybe a month later. Maybe I'm thinking about them, and I go, you know what? Let me just. Okay, right? Didn't pick up. All good. I don't get hurt about it. Let's go. Whatever. Let's find the motivated ones. See, I'm constantly looking for. I'm not looking for the whole. You know, hey Wisely, this thing's awesome. This thing's amazing. You know, you need to come on board with us. We get started. Oh, you know what? I got some things going on right now. Life's a little difficult right now. My kids, my job, right? All excuses. I'm not looking for that guy. I'm looking for the psychotic, naive person who's in the same boat as him that's going to go, really? I make $100,000 a year at my job now? Yeah, I hate it. Let's go, dude. Let's build this thing. That's who I'm looking for. That's the Sawyers. Sawyers own their own home. They have responsibilities. They take care of their family. They have $300,000 saved. She's a nurse practitioner. He's an insurance. Just think about that. Okay? So when you're recruiting people, who are you recruiting? Are you recruiting motivated people that are more motivated to win? Or are you recruiting people that have a lot of talent, but they're really not motivated to use the talent? I don't care how talented you are. Your talent is useless without you actually using it. You know, and then people go, oh, I got to work. Yeah, you let your job beat the crap out of you. Hey, do you know that some people, hope this resonates with you, but some people don't have time to get rich because they're too busy being poor. I want you to think about that right now. Well, some of you guys right now go, well, my life's not that bad. Yeah, but it's poor compared to what it could be. As good as it is today, it could be 10 times better. And you know that it works. You know the system. You know what's even worse is that when you know the system works, you know the business works, you know it all works. You know people are making money here. You know people are doing big things and saving money and buying what they want and flexibility of time and qualifying for trips and doing all these great things. You know it works. But then why are you not doing it? You don't make it a priority. It's hard to win at anything you don't make a priority. You're not making it a priority. It's kind of a priority. Some of you guys that are 80% in, you guys are 80%. Well, that's great. But that's paying you a little bit of money compared to what it could pay you if you were 100%. And that's a mindset thing. Number 6, be captain system focused. Captain system focused. Here's what a captain is. A captain is you and your team have 10 confirmations that are on that guest list at the BPM. If you and your team have 10 confirmations that are on that guest list at the BPM, you are a captain and you get to sit in the front. Should do that. Say, hold on a second, I'm a captain. A captain, by the way, outweighs everything. Imagine how powerful that is. It means, let's say, for example, Oak's got, 3 personal confirmations, Pond's got 3, Fisher's got 3. And you have one other, that's 4 or 1 or 2, 10 plus, Oak's a captain. And then the question's got to be, okay, how many does Fisher have? Fisher's got so-and-so on his team and so-and-so on his team. Okay, well, combined, how many do you guys have? And are you a captain? That's got to be the mindset. Captain system focused. Because it's a different meeting when you have 10 confirmations. You come to this meeting with anticipation instead of, man, I hope I learned something today. You come with anticipation that I'm going to learn and I'm going to earn. And my team's going to expand. When business expands, it's exciting. When you're the lonely only, it's not exciting. True or false? Well, it's your choice whether you want to make that a reality or not, guys. Because the reality is that, look, most people are stuck in subjective fantasy and they're constantly negotiating the price. And entrepreneurs work in objective reality and they're constantly paying the price. That is the biggest difference. Subjective fantasy, negotiating price, versus objective reality and paying the price. 2 very different results, 2 very different lifestyles, and 2 very different mindsets. You guys got it? Yes. Stop living in subjective fantasy of what you wish that this thing was. And start going all in on your dream and living in objective reality. I have a couple more here. We've got 2 minutes, which is good. So remember, with your guest interviews tonight, make sure that you guys are to the point. Ask them the questions you need to ask them. If I see a couple of people stepping out, a couple guests stepping out of your offices, I'll know what you did. If they're biting their nails, pacing back and forth, hoping they get the position, I'll know what you did. Don't try it at home unless you're really good, right? Yeah, those are great. Okay. Number 7. Build solid relationships with the people you bring in. Build solid relationships with the people that you bring in. Again, if you see them only on BPM nights, you do not understand this. This is a relationship business. Okay? And by the way, it's not always the upline's job to reach down to the downline. It is actually the very opposite. It's the opposite. You guys got it? Yes. Let's go crush it, guys. Let's go win together. And I got the rest of this list right here. And I might finish it meeting after the meeting. But 10, 15-minute break, guys, and we'll come right back here. Do not leave. Go get your guests. Thank you. See you at the top.
247, like the hands on the watch, we go on and on and on, all around the clock. 365, watch the new year drop. We keep it constant, 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 constant. We keep it constant, 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 constant. Bring the tracks out, bring the brass out. I go co-train.